Kidz Bop is terrible. Using children to sing over top 40 songs in order to make money off of other people's music is about as Hollywood music industry as it gets. On top of that, it somehow makes even awful rock hits significantly worse. Yet somehow these things are all the rage with parents who don't know any better. I've always stood by that Kidz Bop, even as a concept, is bad. If a song has to be censored and sang by children in order for you to play it for your child, it's probably not worth playing it. If a song is already safe for a child to listen to, just play that original song and don't have a watered down track with a group of kids singing over it. This video is going to look at 10 awful Kidz Bop rock songs. This is not a top 10, no ranking, just a list. I am not ranking Kidz Bop songs, no. Also, I know there are more than 10 of these because there have been so many Kidz Bop covers made, but these are 10 I thought were shocking. Please hit the like button if you think Kidz Bop is awful. Also, please subscribe, it does help a ton. You know how these videos work, let's get to it.
It starts with one.
I understand Linkin Park's early work was instantly timeless and cross generations, and I loved this band since I first heard Hybrid Theory, but never once did I think this was a kiddo-friendly listening experience, mainly because I'm not sure a song like In the End is the most uplifting toddler tune. Why would anyone think kids singing along to In the End would appeal to a large audience? I get that singing along to this song is infectious, but geez, some of the mirrors aren't exactly inspirational notes you'd want children to be screaming their hearts out over a microphone with, and badly at that over a terrible karaoke track. Hearing a small group of children singing the chorus of this track is not even really worth laughing at, and it just makes me kind of sad. Not that the rapping part's any better.
One thing, I don't know why, it doesn't even matter. Put my trust in you, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
I'm not saying Linkin Park should never be covered, but there's a reason why bands don't try to cover Linkin Park. It's hard to put your spin on it, so bringing kids in to sadly grown over it is not gonna work. This is the equivalent of a dorky dad at a barbecue trying to do the Mike Shinoda parts while the little kids sing the chorus and the rest of the family is mortified. And then it's sold and distributed. Ugh, shameless. In a different rock direction at that time, hearing kids sing along to All the Small Things might sound adorable on paper. The little na-nas coming from kids, aw, that's cute. 1, that sounds like a recipe for a nagging headache. 2, isn't pop punk seen as immature without bringing in kids? Blink-182 relishes in immaturity at times, it's part of the charm, but hearing kids sing Carry Me Home makes it sound like they are too tired after dinner to make it upstairs and have to be carried up by mom and dad. Not what this song is referring to in any way. Also, hearing an old man sing Work Sucks does not have as much force as it did from Blink.
Come home, work sucks, I know.
Wild that they had to record a version of this song so they could cash in on it. I feel like if Blink would have known, they probably would have just laughed and said, nah, you need it really bad, just go for it. It screams of desperation, but it also makes sense a little because of the cute nanas that are totally annoying, but again, on paper, I get why they thought it could work. It was just a disaster in execution, and the final result was way more annoying than anything Blink could ever do. How do you make sure your kids start down the goth road early? Have them sing Evanescence while still in kindergarten. That should set things in motion. Do you want your happy little child going to school with a smile? Or do you want them brooding while listening to Bring Me to Life? Because you can't have both. Surprisingly though, it's not the kids on this track that are the worst part, not by a long shot. It's the knockoff Amy Lee and the corniest nu metal shouter you can imagine doing segments of this song that will make you realize just how bad Kidz Bop can get. I don't know how else to lead into this, so here's some of both. You know, Amy Lee regrets having this be a nu metal anthem and wishes it didn't have those segments in the original Bring Me to Life. Well, Amy, it could be so much worse. Do you think the studio engineer listened to these takes and had to go, all right, that wasn't bad, kids, but do it again, and this time a little more in sync. Parents, for the love of God, stop embarrassing yourselves in front of the child stars of tomorrow. A lot of people say Evanescence peaked when Fallen came out. It's my favorite Evanescence album, but at the same time, this is now responsible for some of the worst Kidz Bop I've ever heard, so there's a lot of damage that can even come from their best. Sorry, this one was really bad. Wake me up! It's like Goofy singing. straight up shameless. You had little kids come in and sing "Girls Don't Like Boys, Girls Like Cars and Money." What is wrong with Kidz Bop creators and everyone involved? If I ever caught a child singing these lyrics, I would seriously wonder if the parents were actually capable of raising children properly. I know pop punk at that era was aiming for a younger demographic, but not that young. Teaching young kids the lessons of shallow girls and stupid boys is a lesson that shouldn't be learned through a terrible cover song recorded in a tin can studio. I do hope the children were old enough to know what they were singing, because it sounds like they have no clue and might teach kids at a young age the wrong message this way.
Girls don't like boys, girls like cars and money. Like these boys, like these boys, like these girls.
Oh, so wrong. Why? I dare say Good Charlotte might have been a touch too mature for some audiences, and that's saying a lot considering bands like Good Charlotte and Simple Plan were at the time pandering to the teenagers. And then Kidz Bop swoops in and goes, "Don't forget the elementary school kids." We gotta make sure they learn about boys and girls through song. Why? I love Feel Good Inc., Gorillaz. You know, in 2005, alternative was truly given a masterpiece in style. So of course, Kidz Bop had to get their greedy hands all over it. And as much as Feel Good Inc. holds up, for some reason, Kidz Bop took some liberties with the song and tried to ruin a good thing. For starters, the maniacal laugh at the beginning from De La Soul at the start was like an evil scientist this time. The chanting kids were awkward, the faded vocal track was rough, and the attempted covering De La Soul's rapping is absolutely unforgivable. Along with having children sing "Don't Stop, Get It, Get It." I'm not making any of this up. I could never answer which part of this cover I hate most because I know I hate it all, and it's hard to compare when it's all this bad.
Laughing gas these hazmats, fast cats, lining them up like fast cats. So don't stop, get it, get it.
That prominent bass line of Feel Good Inc. does not have the same impact when you have kids and adults weirdly performing lines all over this mess. Also, when these kids are, I don't know, 11, 12, then if they want to sing some of this, could be worse. When they are young like this, at 6 or 7, they shouldn't be singing along to any of this track at all. And I don't care if you censor some of it or not. This was brutal. I refuse to believe kids knew who Kings of Leon were back when the group was at their height of popularity. Kings of Leon have no youth appeal. None. Why would they have children sing along to a track like Use Somebody? Did they think millennial whoops would hook anyone and figured that was enough? For starters, they have a female vocalist perform this main lyric of the track. It's not like that ruins the experience, but it adds to the list of why is this happening. It's like an alternate universe of mainstream alt-rock, and even the most accessible songs sound creepy and dirty when performed this way. There's something really off-putting about this track when sang by children, and I feel weird that I put this on my channel. I don't think the kids felt good about singing this one either. As Kidz Bop went on, you really noticed them reaching into any style or genre, and that still does not explain why they thought Kings of Leon would have the kids screaming to buy this compilation. I cannot see a Kings of Leon poster hanging on a 6-year-old's bedroom. Was Kidz Bop just swinging wild to cover any song that was popular and knew it'd be bought? I mean, this was on Kidz Bop 17, so I guess the answer is yes.
My eyes are open wide.
When you want to hear your kids grow up a little and move on in their life, but not too much as they still have school in the morning, you have them sing Second Chance by Shinedown. You know, that childhood song that the kids at recess used to scream around the swing set. Sometimes goodbye is a second chance. Nothing about this song actually works for little kids. Having children shout, "Tell my mother, tell my father, I did the best I can," this is my life, Mom and Dad. Goodbye to Second Chance. Now take me to McDonald's. I like this song, but this rendition doesn't do Shinedown or any of the kids favors. Second Chance should be with a deep, bombastic voice, not little kids barely able to read, which is what it sounds like.
Even the man in the moon disappeared. Tell my mother, tell my father, sometimes goodbye is a second chance.
A coming-of-age song doesn't work if you aren't even old enough to go to PG-13 movies yet. It also doesn't work replacing Brent Smith with a young kid, but still trying to make it sound serious. At what point does Kidz Bop stop going for the happy sing-alongs and start getting into the deep, introspective tracks that make you think about life? Around age 7 is when they think that's appropriate? I mean, at this rate, Kidz Bop will cover Hurt from 9 Inch Nails or Johnny Cash. Either way, those kids are gonna be sad.
Hold me when I'm near, grab me when
The early 2000s post-grunge scene was ripe for Kidz Bop covering. A lot of it had clean enough lyrics and were just a bunch of guys groaning along to drop tuning, so this has to be easy to cover. But if you do that, you can at least do it to more upbeat ones and not When I'm Gone by 3 Doors Down. It's not the only 3 Doors Down song to get the Kidz Bop brush over, but it's definitely a confusing one. 3 Doors Down is a safe band for sure, and I guess that's what they were trying to teach kids to rock out to. Somehow, this isn't exactly a pump-up anthem. Why did they think kids would want to sing this song from 3 Doors Down? It's not even Kryptonite, and Kryptonite wasn't even that exciting. Hearing a group of kids sing the verses of the song is enough to make you wonder if the kids are being forced to sing against their will. It just doesn't sound natural. I'm not the only one that hears it, right? Like, they brought in their own main singer, and you have a bunch of little kids being screamed at by adults to sing along, and they don't get to eat that night. I can't be the only one. Someone else has to hear this cover this way. The fact that children had to learn about Buckcherry is absolutely disgusting. There are parents in the South who want books banned, while some parents are still bringing their children into a recording studio to sing Sorry by Buckcherry on Kidz Bop 7. Talk about being exposed to too much at too early an age. I do wonder if the kids all had to listen to Buckcherry over and over again to get the cadence and tone of the song right, and then realize, wow, kids have to sing about wanting to die. This is not right. When you hear the children sing it, you want to save these children. Not so much because they're actually sad, but because they are forced by studio execs to sing one of the worst butt rock songs of the 2000s.
Makes me wanna die. Sorry I'm bad, sorry I'm blue.
I also wonder if some of these child singers were brought in and not told who they'd be singing until they got there that day. They were hoping for Beyonce or even Avril Lavigne back in the mid-2000s, but nope. Buckcherry. Those kids were probably pulled out of school for a chance at Hollywood and ended up singing Buckcherry. That's a sad Hollywood child story if I've ever heard one. I said before, Kidz Bop is shameless, and even that's too nice. Straight up, this is the sleaziest thing any agency in the business could have done. Bring kids in to sing Lips of an Angel. If even one of the kids who sang this ended up with a normal life, it's a miracle. Hinder was bad enough, but explaining Hinder and then this song to kids is child trauma. Lips of an Angel is a song about a man wishing he could cheat on his partner who is literally in the next room sleeping, and then they had children poorly record over this. Ugh. It's so bad. If you are wondering why the younger generation hates millennials and Gen X and boomers, listen to what some of the youth had to sing. I truly feel that even the young children singing these lyrics knew something was wrong with this situation about children singing a track like this. Not only does it sound miserable, but I can't imagine anyone was happy with this experience. I also can't imagine kids wanting the new Kidz Bop album and cranking it up to sing along to Hinder. I just feel with a massive amount of music in that time frame, and even if you only focus on the hit songs of that time, you could have chosen 100 other safe tracks over a song about being unfaithful. Kids had to learn about cheating sooner or later, I guess. This is another life lesson. I feel that exploiting children to sing popular songs on a compilation album as a cheap way to make money through cashing in on overly protective parents is awful. Everything about Kidz Bop is absolutely awful. I also feel that as it's 2023 and these Kidz Bop collections are still being made and put online, I would hope that parents would be a little wary of what they're signing their kids up to sing. If this keeps up in a few years, we'll have little children singing Machine Gun Kelly and Falling in Reverse. Gross.